Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. Alright, man. I'm going to try to make this video as quick as possible. You know, as I said before, we was going to talk about some of the changes that the NBA could make to make the league better. You know, I'm not going to go too deep into details because I'm a little tired. But as I said before, man, one of the biggest problems that we have now, are we sure that we're getting the best teams playing in the finals every year? Or is it because of geographical location? Was the Cleveland Cavaliers the second best team this year to lose in the finals? Because the Warriors proved they was the best team because they won. But was Cleveland the second best team? Because that's usually how it goes. You allegedly supposed to have the two best teams playing for a championship. Usually they get it right in Major League Baseball. You know, the Cleveland Indians and the Chicago Cubs were the two best teams in the league, and they ended up playing in the World Series. Because I feel like Major League Baseball has the best playoff system. You know, the NFL could be better, but the NBA's garbage, pure garbage. As I said before, they need to have, you know, some kind of bracket where they need to figure out how to put this together. But to me, they need to have the top 16 teams. None of this East Coast, West Coast shit. You need to have the best 16 teams playing, and it should strictly go by record-wise. You know, wins and losses. That should be all that matters. Because I think it is ridiculous that you got a team on the East Coast that's winning 37 games and they getting to go to the playoff. You have to at least have a 500 record to be able to go to the playoff if I was the commissioner. Because like I said, what's going on now is just pure garbage, and I just don't like it. I think it's fucking up the league, and people just need to admit that. People just not keeping it 100. Okay? That's one of the things that the league need to take into serious consideration, is changing the playoff structure. Okay, then another thing that they need to do is you guys know how I feel about resting players. I feel like players should be out on the court at all times. If they could play, they should play. Because, you know, Greg Popovich started this bullshit with resting players. Just because, you know, you call yourself saving them for the playoff, and it shouldn't work like that. Because, as I said before, you got people paying thousands of dollars to see their favorite players. Or see the best players in the league, and, oh, well, he's not playing today because I'm trying to rest him. Okay? So, yeah, that gotta go too. Me, myself, I think in the next collective bargaining agreement, I think they should pass a rule where if you sit a player down for a game just to rest him, you should be fined $1 million. Straight up. You should be fined $1 million for every player that you rest. So if you rest 3 players, you should be fined $3 million, because that's the only way you can stop that shit. They need to be heavy fines for that shit. You know, that's the real talk. You should be fined $1 million every time you rest a player. I bet you Greg Popovich will stop that shit then. You know, I think you should make it a minimum that you have to, if a player can play, he has to play. Now, you can control his minutes. Now, if you want to limit his minutes, I think a minimum that a player has to play is, if you want to rest him, if you call yourself resting a player, I feel like you should make him play a minimum of just 8 minutes. 3 minutes here, 3 minutes there, 1 minute here, you know, one minute there. Hey, it's over. You know? But that shit sitting them down and they can play, and I think that's very selfish of the coaches. I think that's selfish of the coaches. I think that's selfish of the ownership. to be doing that shit. So that's one thing. Now, let's talk about traveling. I think what they could do is with traveling is rotational travel. What I mean is they have a rotation. You know, when they get on the road, instead of them like ping-ponging going from Oakland to Utah, then to Phoenix, then, you know, they need to have a rotation. What I mean, they should go up and down or in a circular motion. Basically, what I'm saying is they can start at Utah, then go to Denver, then work their way down to Phoenix, and then shit like that, and then fly back home. And then another thing, no more back-to-back road games. If you on the road, you shouldn't have to play back-to-back games. Now, when you at home, I think it's more than fair you can play back-to-back home games because you're at home. Why can't you play 2 home games in a row? If you can play 2 road games in a row, why the fuck you can't play 2 home games in a row? I never got that shit. So this is some of the many things that the NBA could do to better the league. Because right now, are we sure we getting the best teams playing in the NBA Finals? Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm out.